Love walked out the door of my adept heart, leaving it barely ajar. Solitude slipped in, accompanied by loneliness and a pail of scars. In the broad light of day, draped in an attire of dirty old grey, loneliness and solitude pushed into my soul and asked me to stay. I swore with all my might. I tried to push them out the door, but they proved to be adamant and held their ground some more. I housed them for a while, thinking that their stay was just a trial, but many days and nights had passed, as if it was just their arrival. Weeks and months gone by since the two culprits and I have met. Seems like they were sent by the devil himself, the demon of death, staying near to me, as if to keep a close watch over me to the end, always in my shadows, walking with my every stride as if a friend. Dictating whatever I do, these witches never missed their chance to remind me that they knew the lazy steps of love's forlorn dance, that it was the black petals of forfeited love that had decreed this, that they be my companion in this bitter taste of the gloomy kiss. Embrace and walk with us. We will be your companion, they said. Accept our presence, they posit. We will even be with you in your bed. The dark-lit waters of their eyes, the likeness of death on their face, hair spread, and the tangled stench of demise permeated the place. Their teeth were stained against their dark skin, their edges chipped, sharp and thin, their receding gum line red that the bleeding depict. Wafted from them, the smell of perspiration and urine fills the room, as if to signal that the demon of death will usher in itself soon. Though I showed many times that I did not care for their gesture, they did not heed my request, and hung around with a closer monsieur. Desperately I fought to end their stay, and tried to push them away. Sometimes they left for a moment, but came right back the next day. By then, my life had become one of hurt, as the pain was unchecked. Time to time they sneak up from behind and grab me around the neck, with strong hands, suffocating my breath, as if to torture but not kill, but letting go just before death, as loneliness has its way and a skill. Particularly fond of nightfall, they mingle with the pitch of the night, embracing my soul, drawing closer, clasping on with all of their might. Tying my intestines in a knot, they drove hunger away as they fought. They wryly said, I shall not live by breed alone, and love I have not. They lay beside me in my bed, and even woke me up with screams. Entering my head, they fabricate nightmares out of my every dream. Keeping sleep at bay while sending rest away and closing the door, trying to be my friend, forcing herself on me, this loneliness whore. They made the nights agonizingly deep, picking fights with my sleep. Startled in the middle of my slumber, they recalled thoughts that leap, like a song stuck on the same number, stories and events of my lover, and the harrowing memories that I would rather not remember, rendering my body and mind sway, unleashing venom into my ears, compelling my thoughts of love to fade, until a river flows of my tears. Go ahead and weep. We are your company here to wash your sins. In the illusion of life and this game of love, no one loses and no one wins. No interest in people and places, I belong to the solitude's embrace. Douse your flame, numb your pain, and cool the passion with your tears. In a prodding tone they urge me to ease the pain. Let's have a drink, take some whiskey, and raise our glasses. Cheers to love and life with a clink. I try to reason, how much do I need to pay? Please allow me to know. Every lifetime, every rebirth. Please tell me what measure of debt I owe. Whom did I sin against, and what are my crime and punishment for? Please let me die if I must, for without death there can be no rebirth. Please forgive me and leave. My spirit is broken, and my body is weak. My heart is torn to shreds. My tears have dried as love is all I seek. Please leave me and go, return my smile, so I can love and glow. I can't be defeated nor conquered, as our story began a long time ago. but they held their ground, with a smirk on their face and bloodied eyes, poking me with her dirty nails, telling me stories of half-truths and full lies. We are here to stay every night and every day. We have nowhere to go. We are your companion. You see, do not resist but embrace the solitude show. We know your secrets, for we have been in the shadows from the start. We see the truth in your heart. This is what you get for playing the part, for betting your loyalties to love, for giving your soul to someone else. Now we must regret to confess that we are the keeper of your destiny. We are part of the cosmic will, the loneliness and solitude shawl. Wear it. I look into the rearview mirror of my life and glance at my losses and gains. I see how indifferent the world is, that the pain of love is still the same. We are living in a world of different cultures and different languages apart, but suffering in love is the same, and the broken is the same broken heart. I was not born to be a man to travel this alley of my existence without love, for it is love that is the panacea that conveys us through the universe. It is that which removes the unseen barriers between ourselves and others, that love is the essentiality of the universe and its kernel of reincarnations. So before we walk away, there are some things that I must let you know. The fire of love has burnt itself out, but the ember that remains still glows. If it didn't play the game, if it did not feel the warmth of the flame, my heart and soul would have searched till they found your name. That the attachment to you has conceded my heart to be softened some, my soul was washed clean and sanctioned before it could be returned home. You burnt my longings, and everything was reduced to ashes of content, but the ruined place of desire looks back over the path that leads to you. In the game of love, we become the giver or the receiver, victor or defeated. Only one who has been scorched can understand the condition of my burn. Now I stand face to face with her, that touched my soul and took my heart. Though we didn't come this far to turn back and run, we must play the part. So before we walk away, there are some things that I must let you know. Though the fire of love has burnt itself out, the ember that remains still glows. And if it play the game, if it did not feel the warmth of the flame, my heart and soul would have searched the universe till they found your name. I look into the rearview mirror of my life, and I stared at my losses and gains. I see how indifferent the world is, that the pain of love is still the same. We are living in a world of different cultures and different languages apart, but suffering in love is the same, and the broken is the same broken heart. And so it was. Like clay in her hand, she fashioned my raw being. And while she massaged the clay without it, or her knowing, some of her own essences spilled into it, a concoction of love, patience, and humility. Her smile infused it with empathy and divine goodness. From her heart, she poured the fresh elixir of her kindness. Love is a common thread that connects us even for a while. We only attach to others at the point of an entanglement. We have a strong connection and enjoy each other at that point, until the knot unravels, and we are on our freeway again. However, if the universe wills it, the knot forms a stronger bond, impossible to separate. Love ensnares two souls together as one. And so it was like clay in her hand. She fashioned my raw being, and while she massaged the clay without it or her knowing, some of her own essences spilled into it, a concoction of love, patience, and humility. Her smile infused me with empathy and divine goodness. From her heart, she poured the fresh colors of her kindness. Love cannot reveal itself, but it reveals everything else: joy, happiness, satisfaction, pain, yearning, sorrow, and solitude. Love is the purification of the heart and the flowering of our soul. and when she was done, she held the mirror to show me who I was. I liked what I saw, for her image reflected in me, inside and out, and I was ready to receive life's predetermined gifts of joys and sorrows. And so it was, like clay in her hand, she fashioned my raw being, and while she massaged the clay without it or her knowing, some of her own essences spilled into it. The connection cannot be explained to others. It cannot be understood. The longing of one body cannot be felt by someone else. Only the heart and the soul knows, for my essence had been reshaped, and only it conveys its light.